Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om.
Pray, grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion and wisdom, to resist temptations and to control the mind, free us from egoism, lust, greed, hatred, anger and jealousy. Fill our heart with the divine virtues. The first one was about the attributes. Then down to earth, when we are interacting with the fields in which He has placed us, there is every likelihood that we don't understand the other half. Let's say we understand the heart. We don't have the equal vision. There are preferences, priorities, so many things. We want an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion and wisdom. Why do I require this? To resist the temptation to control the mind. Again, I am fully under the grip of my ego. Free us from egoism, lust, greed and hatred, anger and jealousy. This prayer, when there is a one-to-one, everything comes out. Others may not know what is in our mind. What is in our mind about somebody also, others may not know. Very rarely people may know, otherwise no. So here is an opportunity given by Shivanji Maharaj to look into ourselves. At this time, we thought it would be appropriate to go through the 6th shloka of Srimad Bhagavad, or in the 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, to resist temptations and to control the mind, free us from egoism, lust, greed, wrath, hatred, anger, jealousy. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenevatmaivatmanajitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartedatmaiva shatruvate. One becomes one's own friend when one has conquered oneself. But to the unconquered self, balanced mind, those who don't have the balanced mind, he or she is inimical, like an enemy. I become an enemy to myself. So when I pray to him to free me, otherwise I know. Through Bhagavad Gita, God is reminding us, if we develop the other one, somebody is not our enemy. Let us try to go through the words of Swami Ranganathanji Maharaj. These are all profound psychological insights embedded in these verses. When you discipline this sensory system, this psychic system, you develop great character strength. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind. But the other way, then you become your own friend. When you discipline this sensory system, this psychic system, you develop great character strength. Then you become your own friend. But the other way, anatmanastu shatrutve. When you leave the mind and the sensory energies to themselves, and you don't discipline them, you don't train them, then you become your own enemy. How much it means to all of us in the development of character. This is the teaching. Always complaining against others is not good. In fact, the complaining attitude is a very poor attitude for a human being. And many people have this complaining attitude. Always complaining against this, against that, against this, against that person, against the situation. And then comes resentment. Resenting like this, oh, this has been done. I carry in my heart one resentment, second resentment, and so on. I once read a sentence in an American journal years ago. It said, blessed is the heart that does not collect resentments. You go on collecting resentments from morning till evening. By the time you are 40 or 50, your heart is full of complaints, full of resentments. What has happened to you? You have become your own enemy, number one. Why did you collect those resentments and keep them within you? So who is your enemy? You yourself. Somebody abuses me and goes away. I take it in. I culture it in my system. And it makes me weak. It makes me depressed. That man is dead and gone. But I am still cherishing the words he has thrown at me. Because I took it in. Who is your enemy? You yourself. Because you did not have any control over your mind, over your inner self. You see, children, for example, one child abuses another child. The child leaves and goes to his mother to complain. And we are like children, constantly complaining about this, about that. Maturity has not come to us. Sri Krishna wants men and women to be psychically mature. That is, I have to take the responsibility on myself. It is my responsibility. When you do something wrong, for example, some punishment is given. Yes, I have done wrong. I take the punishment. There is nothing wrong in imparting that punishment to me. That punishment may bring a trauma in the human mind. It is a modern fiction. From Freud onwards, such thinking has come. Any kind of punishment, even a scolding, can create trauma in the weak mind, and therefore don't punish, don't scold. This is what has made the human mind very weak today. There is no need for it. Well, I have done wrong, I will pay for it, it's okay, the matter is over. That is how inner strength comes from discipline. Such people alone can develop high character. So these reconciling everything. the more you build up the inner strength, the less you will complain against others. The more you put blame on others, you become weaker and weaker. A little strength must come to the nation, to the people, by having faith in oneself. Yes, I have done it, I shall not do it again. That is called manliness, a strong attitude. If I have done wrong, I have to pay for it by being punished. I am glad to pay the penalty. It is not a mere theory, it can be implemented in life. Don't become your own enemy by not handling this psychic energy packet that you have got. Handle it, refine it, purify it, discipline it. Then your whole system becomes your friend. Nothing can do harm to you. We remember how satsang helps us. Not that everybody would like to be always blissful, happy. They would like to share happiness to others. They would like to broaden their self. Everything is there. But our old habits, suddenly we get offended, we carry out these things. So this satsang will help us. Then only the prayer becomes effective. Otherwise the prayer will not become effective. It is only just like Gandhiji yesterday said, a heart without
words.
Prayer.
Heart.
It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. Otherwise the words will be coming, heart will not be there. When we say grant us inner strength, same word, grant us inner spiritual strength. So simultaneously, if I don't develop all these things, how do I develop inner spiritual strength? Parampujya Swami Sachidananda used to say that whenever something goes wrong in an institution, many things will happen in the administration. So when Swamiji will say, never ask why did it. You say no postmortem. So once when it was asked to Swamiji, why should we not do the postmortem so that we analyze it and then we will not repeat it? He said, your process of analyzing will keep the heart again separate, because you will justify, I will justify, you will justify, I will justify. But suppose what had happened, forget about it. Who is to blame is not important. How to set the situation right is another prayer. These are all very easy to say from this platform, but when we come to the actual, it may be difficult. But now we know that by prompting us to take up this prayer one by one, Papa is making us to look within others, look within yourself. In spite of doing all these prayers for all these years, do you think you have refined yourself? You have been able to get over all the limitations? Have you been able to concentrate on developing the inner spiritual strength, where the love circle keeps on expanding, where nobody is unimportant, nobody is insignificant, nobody is irrelevant? I may fail, I may forget. But periodical introspection, periodical reminders like this, oh, I shouldn't have done it. I correct myself. That is why everybody says, Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the science of life. It analyzes. Oh, I would not have known. My mind will keep on justifying it. Forget about it. Sri Krishna is introducing in these two verses this beautiful technique. Raise yourself by yourself. Don't let yourself down. For you are your own friend, you are your own enemy. Those who can discipline their inner energies, they become their own friends. Those who do not do so, they become, as it were, their own enemy. After 1 or 2 years. But boy suddenly felt the urge to pass urine. He was trying to control, but he couldn't. As soon as he knew he has passed the urine there itself, how will he face the teacher and the other co-students, classmates? Suddenly the teacher was coming to his side. The boy thought probably, she knew, she smelled. Now I am going to be caught. So she called him. She asked for something else to come. Luckily he was on the last bench. Suddenly another girl. She came with a bowl of water. And before the boy could reach the teacher's place, she also rushed up. The result was the entire water bowl. It got spilled on his shirt and trouser. The boy really felt unsafe. Entire the class and the teacher, they were accusing the girl. Attention was drawn. Immediately the teacher said, you can go home now, go to that particular room and wash, use peace. Little drying up. Luckily some part is there. So he went inside and then came back. He said, no, we can manage, and the class started. After the class was over, the boy was standing waiting for the bus. This girl also came near him. Suddenly the boy knew. Intuitively he asked, did you do it deliberately? Then immediately she said, yes, I also had once passed urine without my control. And I knew what all I had to face. Just imagine. The inner strength, How did she develop? Identifying feeling oneness with the others. What all we read in the first one, grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion and wisdom. Intelligence also should work, Immediately it should strike. She must catch. Whether somebody asked her or not, she did not bother. The intellect was not bothering her. She took the bowl of water, went towards him and dashed and saw to it that it is spilled out on his. So not only, when the inner strength is there, it releases so many potentialities, capabilities. Dropped her in the school. On that day, the mother prepared something which normally she doesn't take. So she insisted, they had no time. So she was shouting from the kitchen. So this girl quietly, sat there. And she looked at her daddy and told him, if you promise yes, I will take this. What are you going to say? Whatever I may ask. In a weak moment, he said, okay. Because she is shouting from there, Somehow he has to go to the office, she has to go to the school. So when the moment she said yes, she took, as she promised, the one which normally she doesn't take. And after the breakfast was over, she said, now it's my turn. You have to take me to the barber shop and get myself cleanly shaved. Good. With enough hair. The mother heard it from the kitchen. What are you talking? Only boys go for saloons. It is not proper. You are talking nonsense. You are mad. Like that. She kept quiet. She did not say anything. Daddy, you gave me a word. Now it is up to you to honor it. Finally, he said, yes, I have given a word. So he took her to the saloon, got her shaven completely, came back. She was very cheerful, normally that age. And she said, now we will go for after bath. She prepared. When she went to the school, as they were nearing in the scooty, one mother and a boy, who was hairless, they were also moving. As soon as this girl saw the boy saw the girl, aye. Immediately she got down, and both of them were joyously moving towards the school. The mother came to the girl's father. She was in tears. I never knew that she would do this. So he was surprised what had happened. Then she narrated the whole story. 2 days back, your girl came to our house. My child is suffering from blood cancer, what do you call it? Leukemia. So he was undergoing chemotherapy. In that process, he lost the whole hair. He was not attending the school. So when she knew he was not coming, she came there to see him. She knew the whole story. Then she said, don't worry, hair will come again. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow you come. Both of us will join. She cheered him up like anything. She did not say what she will do. And she came back. She was waiting for a proper time to get the nod from her daddy. She has to be taken, Nobody will agree. But she, just like that girl, how did she see? When the identification, when the virtues, fill our hearts with divine virtues. Shivanji's prayer says, at that particular age, to develop this. When that boy knew, if a hairless girl can come, why not a hairless boy? Naturally, at that age, that is the tendency. But she was able to raise to a very high level. And at that time, it was a big sacrifice. She did not mind. And the greatness of her, as we look at it now, she did not reveal this to anybody. If the mother had not told her father would not know at all. The father started running towards the daughter, hugged her and kissed her, proud of you. Then in the evening, when she came, the whole scene was changed. When she told the mother, when he told the mother, why she did this? So when we read, the prayer as well as Sri Radha Krishna's words, It is supremely significant for children in society. There are three sources of strength in every human being. The first is muscular strength, Bahubalam. That is the most ordinary and most palpable form of strength. You do that, yoga, gymnastics. The second is Buddhi Balam, intellectual strength. And these two are very ordinary. Second is better than the first. But even the second is useless in the world in which we live. And so the third source of strength in everyone, says Vedanta, that is called Atma Balam or Yoga Balam. Strength coming from one's own spiritual development. Strength that comes only from the Atman. To move away from me and mine, from the small circle to the bigger circle. Just imagine, Atma Balam. The first two, the ego will definitely get nurtured because of the first two. Only the third one will be able to bring in the divine virtues and control all the senses and the mind. This is called Atma Balam, Yoga Balam, strength coming from one's own spiritual development, strength that comes from the Atman, that is supreme strength. So Bahubalam, Buddhi Balam, Atma Balam. We need to develop all these three balams in our children. Let them do exercise, let them play games, let the body be developed. Similarly, let them study books, think, develop their minds and intellect, be creative, very nice, but let them not stop at that. Let them try to get a little spiritual strength from within themselves. With a little bit of Atma Balam, they can withstand the pressures from outside more and more. So when he went and started complaining to Gandhiji said, put everything into writing. So he took a paper, wrote everything, listed everything one by one, all the resentments. Then everything was, Gandhiji said, give it to me. He did not even go through that, ignored it. Then he remembered this.